Hey there, mamas. This is Lee with Creative Tea Time Mom, and today we're going to talk about potty training. So today you're getting a real life, mama's got about 2 or 3 minutes to make a video. I've got toys behind me, I've got a kid having lunch on the table, and let's get into this potty training business. After 3 kids, I feel like the saying that every child is different has to be absolutely true, because all 3 of my kids have potty trained at different ages and at different ways. And so I try to write down a list of maybe the similarities that they've had, but they've been across the board. So know that up front, that every kid is different. What works for our family is not going to necessarily work for yours, but these are some tips and tricks that have worked for us. The first thing is know the signs. And one of the biggest signs for every kid is, can they stay dry for any amount of time? I tried to watch if my kids were staying dry during nap time. I tried to see if between lunch and going down for a nap, if they were staying dry, if they were staying dry for any period of time in the morning. If I see that they're not wetting all the time, they are starting to develop some bladder control, and that's a sure sign that they're just about ready. Another thing to watch for is if they start pulling on wet diapers, they don't want to be wet. If they want to do like mommy and daddy do, they're starting to ask to use the potty and trying to pull their pants down or take their diaper off when they're wet. And just any sort of curiosity about potty training is a great sign that they're just about ready and you should start getting prepared. The other thing you want to start thinking about is any type of equipment you need to gather. So for us, our family, we like to use a little potty right off at the beginning because it's just easier for the kids. They're already trying to figure out how to pull their pants on and off and take underwear on and off. So I didn't want to add in the distraction of also moving a step stool to a big potty. So we like to start with a small potty that they can just use independently. It's right there on their level and they're good to go. Another thing would be having wipes on hand. You think because you're out of diapers, you're out of wipes, but it is so much easier to wipe a potty training kid with wipes than it is with toilet paper. And also the other piece of equipment that we like to have is a step stool for the bathroom so that they can learn how to wash their hands. As they're potty training, I feel like washing their hands is just a great natural introduction into that, and so it's a good time to learn. Another thing that you might want to be thinking about for the future, if you are going to be using your regular toilet, excuse me, is to have an insert that the kids can sit on. Usually most of them have handles that they can hold on to so they're not holding their weight the whole time, and it makes the seat a little bit smaller to fit their smaller bodies. I'm looking at my notes on this is how mommed this video is today. These are my notes. Another thing that we did, and this kind of falls under equipment, is we did rewards with our kids. So one of mine, my oldest, I think, had a sticker chart. My middle one didn't care. My youngest was completely oblivious to stickers. But you can do a sticker chart if that works for your child. So know what motivates them. My oldest, he definitely was motivated by stickers, and all 3 of my kids have actually been motivated by miniature M&Ms. I am not ashamed to say that I bribed them to use the potty. They got miniature M&Ms. So know what motivates your child and what works for them. Another thing that I didn't write down but is a great tip is when you're first potty training, just stay home for a couple days. Don't make them wear pants. Don't make them wear underwear. That's just an extra step. So stay home for a couple days. Make that potty really accessible and continue to encourage them to go every 15, 20 minutes until they start to see the cause and effect of what that looks like. And my last tip is relax. With my first, I was so nervous that he wasn't going to potty train. I am a type A mom, and I was really a type A mom with my oldest, so I was pushing and pushing, and I think it actually made it harder. With my second, she was I was completely oblivious, and a couple of weeks later, she was using the potty like her older brother, and we just relaxed into it. She was super excited, and the more pressure I realized, the more pressure I put on my kids, the harder it was, because I stressed myself out and I stressed them out. And so my biggest tip is just to relax. When they're ready to do it, they will. That's not to say that you can't provide some incentive and some encouragement, but don't force it. You know what I mean? If you're ruining the relationship with your child, they're just not ready. So give this video a thumbs up if it helps at all. And if this is your first time watching any of our videos, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you follow along. And in the comments below, would you let us know, what are your best potty training tips? What's worked for your family that might possibly work for somebody else? Talk to you later, mamas.